Vikings on EA Sports as we get set for today's end matchup.
They say winning never gets old, and this has been some record-setting streak so far.
Yeah, of course winning doesn't get old. Man, everybody pats you on the back, tells you how great you are. That is a wonderful feeling in life. But they have so many good players. That's the reason why they have this long winning streak. The quarterback is hot. They can hit the quarterback in the defensive side. They're going to be tough to beat here today.
And the tackle's made right around the 25-yard line.
Now he's going to change the play, and look out. I think he's going to go down the field with the football.
The Vikings now move the chains. The offense is set at the line for the first down after that completion. Here's the Vikings offense, a model of efficiency a week ago without a single giveaway. Second down now. Davis is lined up in a single back formation. There's some shifting around in the backfield. Second and 10. And a flag is down. It's intercepted. And he's brought to the ground. To dig an early hole, but that's what's happened here with the early interception thrown.
Yeah, good job by the defense, but I'll tell you, you got to make sure as a quarterback when you throw an interception early in the game that you don't let it get into your head and give self-doubt. Stay positive, go out there, be aggressive, and play that way.
The Bears take it from the 43. They've got us behind the line of scrimmage.
Good job by the defense. They stopped the offense that time on first down. Now the defense is in a good situation.
Coming up, second down. He climbs the ladder and has it.
What we're seeing so many times now in this league is the tight ends are getting so good that they have to condense the pass coverage to make sure they stop them, and it's opening up the wide receivers to have a better chance to catch the football.
First down here after the completion. To the ground. Slashes to the left side. He's taken down at the 42. Here's the Bears line up on offense today. They struggle at times to move the ball, so it'll be interesting to see how they fare today. It's now second down and 7 after the 3-yard rush. Second down and 7. Gets it again. And he's tackled down after picking up the first.
What a good job by the running back that time. He reads the blocks very well, and he picks his way through there and picks up a first down. That's nice.
First down here after the run. to the ground.
You know, outside linebackers, they're everything all in one. They got to be a pass rusher, a pass cover guy, and they got to be able to stop the run. Nice job that time getting the sack.
The Bears will take the snap from the 40. He'll throw it over the middle. The grab is made by Kelvin Benjamin. This is third down. The Bears will approach this play from out of the pistol. The Bears get a first down. The defense at this point trying to keep him out of the end zone. They're back at the line after that catch for a first down. Got the completion. Here's how the Vikings defense stacks up. This defense is one of the best in the league at getting into the face of the quarterback. This will be the 8th play of this drive. The Bears come out in the pistol.
When you see linebackers moving like this, they're trying to confuse the offensive line.
2nd and 8. It's the old counter play. That's a gain of 8.
Good job that time by the offense. They pick up a first down inside the 20-yard line. Now we'll see if they can punch it in and get 7 points.
So, first and goal to go. And they're all over him for the sack.
Now, this is about as bad as it gets for a quarterback in a situation like this. You're near the goal line, and they give you a chance to throw the football, and you take a sack. Oh, my gosh. I wouldn't want to be him in that film session at all.
Trying to find his target over the middle, but that pass goes incomplete. Mounting a serious drive. Double tight end formation. And the flag comes out. That penalty is, of course, going to be accepted by the defense. Offense heading to the line for the 11th play of the drive. The Bears take it from the 28. Makes the reception. And he's going to be tackled, and that's going to bring us to 4th down.
Nice job that time by the defense, knowing the situation. Go ahead and let the quarterback complete the pass. Just make sure you come up and make the tackle before the first down. Good job. 4th down coming up.
He'll try this one from 39.
The kick is good. We're late in the first, and that field goal puts them on top.
Yes, and it's a confidence boost, no question about it. When you get a field goal or a touchdown late in the first quarter and it puts you on top, it just feels good.
The Vikings are ready to return the kickoff.
this offense back on the field, trying to make up for that costly mistake. The last time they had the ball, the turnover they committed immediately turned into points against them.
Yeah, it did, Jim, but you know what? It's not a perfect game. You got to deal with adversity when you're talking about football. So you made that mistake, let it go, and go out there, be aggressive, and see if you can score some points.
The Bears defense lined up in a 4-6 formation.
Look out, they're changing the play to take advantage of something they see on the defensive side.
Looking to go down the field here on his way. The 10, gonna take it home for the touchdown. Bill, that's a terrific touchdown here late in the first, and they've now taken the lead.
Shoot, touchdowns are terrific no matter what time you get them, though, Jim. But, hey, late in the first, what a way to answer for that offense. That was a really, really sharp drive.
The point after is good. The Bears are ready to return the kick. Makes the catch at the 7. And the tackle's made right around the 25-yard line. Two tight ends on the field here. The Bears will take the snap from the 25. And this won't even get back to the line. They'll end up losing one. Second and 11. And they take him down.
There's a couple ways to get to the quarterback. Run over the tackle or run around him. It doesn't matter as long as you get the sack.
Loss of 5 on the play. Into the hand. No one's going to get him now. Now at the 40, the 30. Benjamin's tackled down at the 17. Mark him down for another reception. We're now about to begin quarter number 2. And how much pressure do you think these offenses are feeling right now to open this game up, partner?
Jim, I'm going to go back to when I played. The longer you go in a game without having success, I think it makes you tighter and you lose confidence on the offensive side. So they need something here to get them off to a quick start and get them feeling good. Good job by the offense getting the first down in the red zone. Now it becomes tricky. Can you deceive the defense where you get a chance to get a score?
First and goal from the 6. Handoff. Picks up maybe 3. They're just grinding away down here, inching closer to the end zone.
Well, that's what you got to do sometimes. It's hard always to think that you're going to come out and just make big plays. You got to do the dirty work, and this offense is doing it right now.
Second down. Second and goal from the 3. Back to the ground. He's averaging about 3 yards a carry on the day.
The offense is so close right here. They just need to show a little power and punch this in the end zone and get that touchdown.
Only a yard from the end zone. Third and goal. Runs it in for the touchdown.
You got to be able to take advantage of the quarterback sneak. If the defense doesn't line up properly, find the weak spot and go there to score.
Add the extra point. The kick is good.
The Vikings are ready to return the kickoff. Just past the 20. We'll mark it at the 22-yard line.
The Vikings bring their offense back onto the field. Touchdown drive the last time they had it as they attacked that secondary.
They sure did. They threw the football well on that last drive. And now I would think as an offensive coordinator, they're thinking pass on the defensive side. Switch it up. And I think you can catch them with some good runs here.
The Vikings will look to get set. It's been a close game so far. The score is 10-7.
Quarterback, he's changing the play with the wide receiver with those hand signals.
First down at the 22. The Vikings from the 22. Surveys. Could have been intercepted.
Well, we still got a close game here, and you got to try to keep it that way. It's third and long, and you're losing the football game. Don't take a chance on the offensive side. Wait for your next opportunity.
Flex round. Here we go. 1, 2. Ohio. Here we go. 1, 2. Flex round. Ohio.
They're down and 10. Look at that concentration as he makes the grab. First and 10. Has his man.
When you see the defensive back on the inside of a wide receiver, you have a corner route on, make sure you throw it towards the sideline, let the wide receiver outrun the defensive back, and he makes a nice catch there.
The Vikings have it at the 39. Very nearly intercepted.
That leads us to second down.
Flex round. Ohio.
Davis in the backfield. Single back set. They'll go ground. Wide to the left. Picks up 8 here.
That is a good job. This running back, known for his speed, and that time shows a little power and breaks that tackle. Look at the defensive line shifting all down to the inside. They're pinching. They're expecting a run right up the middle.
Davis handed the football. Tackle's made, and the first down is picked up.
Davis is able to get it done that time. Why? Because he has the power and the will to make it happen. Third short, he just gets it done with sheer willpower.
First down and 10.
Back to the ground. And he gains maybe 3.
Davis is never able to build up that power that he has as a running back when there's nowhere to go. Hey, there's nowhere to go. That's a short game.
The Bears go with the dime formation here on defense.
The quarterback's picked up on something. He's changing the play here.
Second down and 7.
Has his target. And he's in for the touchdown. What a play. What a run.
How about this get? A wide open receiver down the field. The quarterback, good job of finding. He throws it down there and he gets the easy touchdown.
The Vikings setting up for the kickoff.
He'll have a chance to take off.
And the tackle's made right around the 26-yard line. The Bears offense ready to continue its recent run here as they've scored the last 2 times they've had it, Phil.
Well, let's look at it from the defensive side. What do you think they're thinking? Oh, my gosh, what's coming next? Because everything the offense has tried so far has worked.
The corner step back. The Bears snap it at the 26. Inaccurate with that one. The Bears step up to the line, employing now their jumbo package. The Bears snap it up at the 26. Slashes to the left side. Third down, following the run.
And he's going to be dumped. And that's a 3-and-out.
Well, it's a game of chances in the NFL. It's third down. The defensive coordinator said, let's get after this quarterback. He sends the extra guys. He blitzes him, and they get there before the quarterback can react.
Good for only a yard.
Well, only a couple yards that time by the punt returner. Good defense by the punt coverage team. They get down their speed. They hustle. They're all around him. They only give up a couple yards.
Quarters formation here for the defense.
They're changing things here. The quarterback changing. He's giving the receiver some new instructions.
The Vikings snap it at the 41. Charging ahead. And Davis is marked down after a gain of 4.
Davis is trying to be patient, but there is nowhere to run that time, and he only gets a short gain.
And it'll be 2nd down and 6 after the running play on 1st down. Looks like they're in press coverage here. 2nd and 6. They're going to get him here for a sack.
Quarterback was not alert that time. The corner comes on the blitz, gets to the quarterback, and takes him down.
The Vikings now on 3rd down. Just a week ago, they converted at a high rate in 3rd down situations.
Let's go. We're at 38. We're at 38. Ohio. 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 Ohio.
He sends the halfback in motion. 3rd and a long way to go. Dante Moncrief makes the grab. They're set to punt it away now.
We'll see what he can do here.
That picks up 7. And we've reached the 2-minute warning. The Bears take it from the 23. Incomplete, looking underneath that time. Second down after the incompletion. They'll go shotgun here. Looking to go deep.
Pass is intercepted. Cooks there to take him down.
Good job that time by the defense. Not being fooled, being in position. When you're in position, you have a chance to make the play. That time they did. They got the interception.
Davis lined up now as the running back behind the quarterback. The Vikings have it at the 44.
Intercepted.
That was an awesome job by the defense. They just read the quarterback's eyes. They got in position, and they made the interception.
The Bears' last drive ended with an interception. So what do you think here, partner? They're going to play a little safer this time around in an effort to avoid another giveaway?
Well, Jim, I think, listen, this is not a perfect game. It's a game of adversity. You're going to have turnovers, so keep your confidence up. Still stay aggressive. That's how you play and win in the NFL.
Second down here.
Doesn't like what he sees on the defensive side, so he is changing the play to the receivers by giving him hand signals. Well, it doesn't get much worse than this, does it? You're losing the football game. Now you're looking at 3rd and long, and look, there are no miracles in the NFL. I'll tell you that. So be smart. If the play is not there, don't force it. Dump it off and wait for the next time you get it. Look at the defensive line. Everybody's spreading out. I think they're going to try to pressure the quarterback.
3rd and 10.
Leaps in the air and has it.
The Vikings call a timeout. Their first. And it'll be Nortman back to punt. Sanders has got it now. Brought down at the 29. And a run back of about 9.
The Vikings were moving the football the last time. They had it only to give the football away on the pick. Let's see how they do it this time.
Yeah, you know, that's a tough situation for the offense. You get a little confidence and you're moving the football, and then the turnover just changes everything. So you got to find a way to get your confidence going again.
The Bears are going to use one of the 2 timeouts they have remaining. Second down coming up with about a minute to go before intermission.
Flex round! Flex round! Let's go! Flex round! Flex round!
The Vikings have it at the 29. Has space. He's tackled beyond the markers. It's a first down.
Well, we got a close game here right before half. Good job by the offense deciding to go into hurry-up offense. What you need here, as many plays as you can get and use up as little time as possible. This is one of those guys, when you talk about receivers, no matter what, he is always open. If the coverage is tight, don't worry. Throw it out there. He'll make a play.
Now 1st and 10. The catch. The Vikings, 1 timeout remaining. The offense coming to the line inside the opponent's 20. That was a big gainer. Now it's time to back it up. Out of the eye. Jams it across the goal line for the touchdown. And that touchdown figures to have them in a very comfortable spot heading into the halftime break.
Ooh, they are feeling good. There's no doubt about that. It's been a show of good offense here so far in the first half. And now what you got to do, halftime comes, you got to go in there and tell yourself to keep this going and keep the pressure on.
Able to move past the 20 and brought down at the 23.
The Bears offense coming back onto the field here, desperately trying to avoid a repeat of their last drive when they had the quick 3 and out.
I'll tell you what, if they go 3 and out again, you know what's going to happen? Those defensive players are going to be looking at them as they come off the field. You put this back out there already, so it's important to get a drive, give your defense a little rest.
And that will close out the first half from the Twin Cities. We'll step away for halftime and be back to Minneapolis in just a moment for the beginning of the third quarter. All right, Larry, thank you for all of those updates. And now the teams are coming back onto the field, and we're about to get the second half started. Fields the football at the 3. And he's tackled just past the 20. We'll mark it at the 22-yard line. The Bears talk things over at the intermission, and I'm sure one of the first orders of business was to try to figure out a way to get this offense going, Phil.
Absolutely. That's what you want to do, and I think you do that by play call. So the coach, they have many plays that we call drive starters. Catch the defense by surprise. They need to call one of those right here and right now to get this offense going.
And intercepted!
Well, nowadays, your linebackers, they got to be able to do everything. They got to be big enough to get in there and stop the run, and also athletic enough to be able to get in position and make an interception. Good job by the linebacker.
The wide receiver in motion. Here's the handoff, and they'll run it. Davis is able to move the chains here as he's tackled down.
That's what you want to do. Just get a first down, especially when you're on top. Keep the clock moving. Keep the defense guessing. Make them react instead of attack. Quarterback likes what he sees out there outside. He's changing the play with the wide receiver.
1st and 10. Throws it in the end zone. Touchdown. And they've established a nice lead here just moments into the second half.
Wow, well, good job by the offense finding a way to score, but what a terrible job by the defense. No life, no execution, and now you just face a bigger deficit.
He'll take it from the 1. Elam is there and makes the stop. And a run back of about 15. The Bears just gave up some big turnover points. Let's see if they can hold on to the football this time, Phil, because we know how crucial it is. We talked to the coaches about it this week. This was their concern with this team.
Well, if you want to stay on the field, you better quit turning it over, right, Jim? That's what the coaches look. You make mistakes on the field, they're going to be forgiving to a point, but you got to be smart, you got to be efficient, and get the job done.
The Bears from the 27. The Bears now move the chains. The offense is set at the line for the first down after that completion. Jumps up and hauls it in.
There is nothing like having a great tight end in your offense now. There's so many things you can do with them. Remember, they're in the middle of the field. They can go down the middle. They can go outside. They can go short. They can go across. They can go out. Tough to cover the tight ends in this league now.
1st and 10. And there's a drop.
Jim, when you look at drop passes in the NFL, it's almost always for the same reason. They take their eyes off the football, the receivers, just before it gets there. And when you do that, that little bit of lack of concentration will cause you to drop the pass.
Out of the shotgun. Jumps into the air and pulls it down. They're going to the hurry. Back to the line now.
Quarterback sees something in his defense he wants to take advantage of.
Drop back, shotgun formation. He makes the catch. Going to take it the distance. Touchdown.
I give all the credit to the wide receiver here. What a route. Fooled the defender. He is wide open. Nice throw by the quarterback for the touchdown.
The Bears for the extra point kick. And the extra point is good. The Vikings are ready to return the kickoff. And he's met head on right there at the 20.
First down at the 20. Stands in the pocket. Comes away with it. Taking another look at the stats here, we have a wide receiver who has put together a complete game, Phil.
It has been a tremendous game, Jim, no doubt about it. Now we understand why guys want to be wide receivers in the NFL instead of running backs. So many more ways to get the football and much easier to make plays happen once you get it.
The Vikings take it from the 23. Winston's down. The sack belongs to Pernell McPhee.
Man, this defensive end, Jim, he is some talent. That time, good job, makes the move, shows the speed, and gets around there and gets the sack.
Let's get the injury report from Danielle Bellini.
Guys, I just spoke with a Bears official. The team is officially ruling him out for today's game with an upper body injury. Back to you.
The Vikings from the 32. Great pass, great catch, great control. That's his 5th catch of the day.
The defense has got to be a little aggressive here. Your team is down. You've got to attack this offense. You don't want them to get in there and get another score.
First down and 10. Rings it in for the score in the end zone. And with that score, they've now got a nice buffer to work with over the last quarter and a half.
They've been really efficient here today. And just another example on that touchdown drive, executing to perfection. And they got a nice lead here. Let's see if they can hang on.
The Bears coming back onto the field on offense. They took it down the field for a touchdown the last time they had it.
Listen, momentum is on their side. When you have that going for you, keep the defense guessing at what you're going to do. So I think it's very important to stay aggressive in this situation.
The Vikings with 2 extra defensive backs in the dime. First down at the 22. And it's batted down.
Failing to complete that one. So second down here.
The Bears are at the line of scrimmage with a spread formation.
Look at the defensive line. Everybody shifting to their left.
From the gun.
The ball is caught by Kelvin Benjamin.
Third down now. They're going to the hurry up. Back to the line.
Here's the handoff. That's a good tackle, and that's a quick 3 and out.
From the shotgun.
The Bears turn the ball over on downs.
I'd say this, after that sack, I'd be looking to get rid of the football as fast as I can. Call some shorter throws. Let the quarterback get rid of the football and get some confidence going in his offensive line.
They come to the line of scrimmage at the 20.
Now first and 10.
Davis going to take the handoff now.
Second down coming up. And now they're in the hurry up.
It's caught by Dante Moncrief. 6 for the Vikings. That's his 9th touchdown catch this year.
Makes the PAT. The Bears are ready to return the kick.
past the 20 and brought down at the 24.
An extra tight end on the field for this one.
First down at the 24. Reaches up high for it, and he's got the catch.
No huddle time.
The Bears have it at the 34. That's dropped by Cook, who couldn't bring it in.
That incompletion by the quarterback, hey, I give the quarterback no fault. That was just tremendous coverage by the secondary player. He's in position and able to make the football be incomplete.
Ball's picked off.
Nice job of the defense that time. In position, they read the quarterback's eyes, and it led to an interception.
The Vikings have done a whale of a job taking their halftime lead and adding a whole lot more to it here in the third quarter.
And they're just doing everything we saw them do in the first half. Just dominating the pace of play and just being more physical than the defense.
Has his target. The Vikings have been quite good all season at throwing the football, and it's been another game like that today. Winston's been efficient, he's been finding his targets, and he's getting it done.
He is showing why he's one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. When you take his talent and you put along with it great decisions, you get something special on the field.
Second and goal from the 4. The give. In the end, it picks up only a yard.
Jim, when you look at the situation right here, you have a big lead. You're down near the goal line ready to score. And what you do to be a good sport, you just line up, you try to score, but you do it with a running play. Now he's going to change the play and look out. I think he's going to go down the field with the football.
Third and goal at the 3. Minnesota in for the score. Jones has caught his first touchdown of the season. Inside of the uprights.
The Bears are ready to return the kick.
Into him, ending the return at the 20-yard line.
The Bears are set to take the field again on offense after a crazy sequence that didn't go their way. That turnover led to turnover points. And now let's see if the offense can get that back, Phil.
Yeah, listen, I know they're going to be motivated because after they turned the football over last time, the coaches took them to the sideline and just gave them heck. That's for sure. That's a good way of seeing it. So motivation, can't make those kind of mistakes. You got to go out there and be much better. Well, that'll make you feel a little better. Finally getting a first down. You're down big in the second half, and you're on the offensive side. Don't look for the quick score. Just look to pick up positive yards and hope it leads you to a score later.
They're going back up top.
Looking across the middle.
The Bears from the 32. Throws the pass. Gronkowski has it.
All you can do is your job, and that was a good job by the offense, picking up the first down. You're down big in the second half. Hey, don't worry about the score right now. Just find ways to execute plays and get down there and score a touchdown.
Taken down at the 21.
Anytime you throw a wide receiver screen, there's a couple things you need for success. Timing of the call. Make sure you call it in the right situation. and wide receivers must block for the guy that's catching the football. They did that to
Vic Beasley takes him to the ground. Fourth quarter and a blowout. Let's see if we can get this game over in a hurry.
Wow, you don't have to say it that way. I'm anxious to see how this game ends up and how they play it out. I want to see a team that has some pride, and even though they're getting blown out, to stay in there and keep fighting.
Here is the first snap of the final quarter.
Taken down and sacked again. Now the offense in their hurry-up. The Bears from the 37. Gets it out for the completion. He's brought down. That's going to bring up fourth down.
Well, Phil, as you like to say, lesser announcing teams might point to that old cliche, winning all three phases of the football game, blah, blah, blah. Thankfully, we're above that. But I think you'd have to say it applies to the proceedings here so far.
Well, we think we're above a lot of things, no question, Jim. But you're right. The defense has been great, and it's no cliche.
First down at the 36. Moncrief's got it. First down.
All right, coaches, don't get greedy. Be decisive over there on the sideline. Do what's best for your football team. Keep getting those first downs and letting that clock just keep running. You got a big lead here in the second half. Don't take any chances.
That ball has been picked off. They had no reason to come out here and be so feisty in the fourth quarter, getting blown out, but they come up with the interception, so hats off to them, Phil.
Well, they know, Jim, that they got to watch this film tomorrow, and if you don't play hard, your job could be in jeopardy. So I like the effort the defense gave that time. I'd like to see a little more effort by this offense as they come on the field.
Launches it down the field, makes the catch on the sideline.
Well, you're really in a tough spot, but that is a good job picking up the first down. You're down big in the second half. All you can do, just keep picking up those first downs. You hope it leads you to a score, and then you play the game from there.
Finds Gronkowski.
The defense is going to play conservative in situations like this. They have a lead here in the fourth quarter. They'll give up those short throws. Look out, they're changing the play to take advantage of something they see on the defensive side.
And off the mark on that short throw.
It'll be third down.
We'll send it back to the quarterback out of the gun. Pass is made, but the hit knocks the ball out. Incomplete.
Gronkowski's really hit hard that time. And I know the football hit his hands, but when a defender times it perfectly like that, with that much power and speed going into that receiver, you are going to let that football go. That's human nature. Really good job by the defensive player.
The Bears take it from the 23. The Bears turn the ball over on downs. The defense still coming on strong with the game in hand here in the final quarter. What a terrific fourth down stand.
Yeah, defensive players, no matter what the score is, they're not going to let down. They keep playing hard, and I like what they did on that fourth down play. They were smart, aggressive, and they got it done.
The Vikings take it from the 23. Complete over to Dante Moncrief.
So they complete one, and still it's second down. We'll go no huddle.
Here we go. Ohio. Flex round.
The Vikings from the 27. And he hauls it in. Gains 16.
I think the coach on the sidelines, he's going to be happy with every first down because he knows that's more time off the clock. When you're up like this, multiple scores in the second half, every first down just puts the odds in your favor of winning this game.
They better hurry to get the snap.
And the timeout is called, so we're going to take a quick break and return in just a moment.
Let's go. What? Ohio. 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 Ohio.
Winston's going to take it from the gun. And a flag comes out.
The defense accepts the penalty.
The Vikings continue to look to their top target on the day. Moncrief's been involved in so many of them, Phil.
Jim, you're right. He knows how to get open. He's one of the best in the NFL. He's got a great pair of hands, and what a day he is having so far. The quarterback, he's changing the play with the wide receiver with those hand signals. The D-line all talking. I think they're expecting run. That's why they're shifting to the left.
Underneath, but can't find the mark that time as the pass goes incomplete.
Let's go. Ran 38. Ran 38. Flex round. Flex round. Ohio. 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 Flex round. Flex round. Ohio.
This has got to be a blitz. Look how everybody's crowding the line of scrimmage.
Moncrief's got a foot race to the end zone. Nobody was going to catch him there. Touchdown. This will end up being an embarrassing final score for the team on the wrong end of it.
Oh, yeah, they're going to be embarrassed, and their pride is going to be hurt. And, you know, on the winning team right now, it's time to think about putting in the backups and just let this clock run out.
Fails to get out to the 20, and he is smacked down at the 15-yard line. First down at the 15.
Almost intercepted. Here we have second down. Press coverage all the way. They're setting up screen.
And Floyd is in on the tackle.
No time to huddle now. 3-step drop.
Reaches up to make the catch.
Well, that'll make you feel a little better. Finally getting a first down. You're down big in the second half, and you're on the offensive side. Don't look for the quick score. Just look to pick up positive yards and hope it leads you to a score later.
First down at the 31. Has to extend for that one, and he's got it.
They're going to the hurry-up offense, and they're back to the line quickly. First and 10. He'll throw it over the middle.
And this goes incomplete as he was looking over the middle.
That's second down coming up.
The Bears at the line of scrimmage with their set of receivers in a bunch formation.
The defense gets the sack.
I'm just going to give the defense a lot of credit for all these sacks they've got here today. They take him down one more time. When you got this much talent on the defensive side, you're going to sack the quarterback. The quarterback's picked up on something. He's changing the play here.
Cook's got it on a pass, had some heat on it. That's his first reception today.
The offense heads to the line for the 7th play of the drive. They're in the hurry-up mode. First and 10.
Has the reception all alone. Gathers is in on the tackle.
All you can do is your job, and that was a good job by the offense, picking up the first down. You're down big in the second half. Hey, don't worry about the score right now. Just find ways to execute plays and get down.
That's an interception. real tough starting spot here for the offense.
And it's swatted away. 2 minutes remaining, and you're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Let's go now to Danielle Bellini, who has the injury update.
Guys, I just spoke with a Vikings official. The injury appears to be minor, so the trainers are just looking him over one last time, and then he'll get back on the field.
In a dangerous spot here. Backs to the end zone. Stepping up to the line at the 6.
Let's go! Flex round! Flex round! Flex round! Flex round! Ohio! Ohio!
Second down and 10.
Niall Davis with the catch. Got a big lane. Davis taken down at the 49. The Vikings are in front thanks to their quarterback. Winston's done everything he can to keep his team on top.
He has been so efficient here today. Very smart making decisions. And when you put those two things together, that's why your football team is winning.
They send the tight end in motion.
They're changing things here. The quarterback changing. He's giving the receiver some new instructions.
For the deep ball. He's got the catch.
Never too late. That's a touchdown.
That could be construed as running up the score, Phil. This game was already in the bag.
Well, Jim, it could be construed. You got to try a little harder or the score will get run up on you. How about that? You know, you are allowed to stop them on the defensive side, and you got to put some effort into it and some heart, and we've seen neither.
And it's the same as a touchback as he's tackled right at the 20. The Bears head onto the field here, Phil, looking for anything positive after what has truly been a disappointing performance all around.
I think when you have games like this and you're behind and it's just not gone well for you all day, then you just try to get the game over with, even though you're losing. Because if you keep forcing the issue and trying to make plays, all that can happen is probably bad, and you don't want to get anybody hurt in this situation.
And it'll be second down and 6 after the running play on first down.
Won't huddle now. Going to conserve the timeout and rush back to the line. And they get the sack.
Well, every defense is looking for somebody to sack the quarterback, and that time the speed of the defensive end gets around the tackle and gets the sack. Well, even though you're losing big here late in the second half, I like their choice of going with the hurry-up offense. You never know when it's going to come in handy.
The Bears are coming off a tough loss last week, and while we heard from this coaching staff that they were past it, they really don't look like they are.
Yeah, that's right. It was such an emotional loss for them last week. I don't think the team got over it. There's a little hangover. They never recovered, and we're seeing the effects of all those.
They bring back out the offense to go for it.
The Bears get set at the line, needing to get to the 30 for a first.
Looking across the middle.
The Bears turn the ball over on downs. One last highlight for this defense as they make the fourth down stop here in the late going.
Yeah, what a complete game today by the defense. Everybody at all levels, up front, linebackers and defensive backs, were all good. They did their jobs, and they did it very well. And you're right, fourth down stop, great way to finish today.
Intercepted. That brings the play to an end. At least this defense is going to have one positive to look back on from this game with the late interception.
That's how it should always be, man. Just go out there and do your best. That's all you can expect to do. Sometimes you do play sports. The other team is better. They were better than you today, but you showed them you're willing to fight the whole 60 minutes. Clock management is so overlooked in the NFL, and here's a good example of it. You got so little time left here in the first half, and what do? You think you're going to catch the defense off guard by running the football? Well, there's a good reason why the fans are booing. If I could, I'd boo with them.
Loss of a couple that time.
And this will probably wrap things up here.
Dropping back 3. And as he's taken down, that's going to seal it as they will not get another playoff in time.
Another win here today, and we're starting to think maybe we could talk undefeated season. I know it sounds crazy.
Yeah, well, it is crazy, and the pressure truly does build against undefeated teams. But that is a pressure that you like. And I say it to you all the time. Athletes love it. When you look at them, well, we're going to look at them now. Let's see if they can go undefeated.
For Phil Simms and all the crew at EA Sports, Jim Nance saying so long for now.